Welcome to Toddler Tuesday. This is the segment where we talk about children's books, and I talk about how I use different children's books in my story times. I thought we'd have clips of things that I use every time in story time, as well as the books that I'm going to talk about, and a couple of the finger plays and rhymes that I used during the story time. Before we get started though, I forgot to invite someone to the last video and she was a little offended. So without further ado, meet Sophia. This is Slow Down Sophia. She is a sloth. That's right. I am a sloth. She's very dry. So every time story time starts, I have Sophia with me. She's the last person I bring into story time after I've set up, and I introduce her to everybody, and I ask the kids if they know what kind of animal she is. Some of them do because they're regular, some of them do because they already have knowledge of Central and South American tree dwellers, and some of them call her a monkey or a bear. And so we get to teach them about sloths and where they're from, and then I ask them, do you know if a sloth is fast or slow? And they mostly know that sloths are slow, but I'm not slow. In fact, I'm very fast. My nickname is Slow Down Sophia. And then Sophia darts around and she's really fast. And then usually after that, Sophia goes and she sits on a podium out of hand's reach from the kids, and she promptly passes out. I do not. Yes, she does, and then we have to wake her up for our video at the end, which is really fun because we try whispering. We say 1, 2, 3, wake up, Sophia. Wake up, Sophia. And then that doesn't work. Oh, okay, this time, on the count of 3, we'll say it in our inside voices. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wake up, Sophia. And then we have to do the hard part. We have to yell in the library. So we say 1, 2, 3. Wake up! So that's Sophia. Today she is wearing her cape because the theme for Storytime this week is superheroes. So she's smiling Sophia, and her smile is so bright that she blinds the bad guys. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have any teeth. I don't know how she blinds them. It's a superpower. It's inexplicable. Okay, so Sophia is going to go sleep behind us, I think. She's already asleep, literally. Sloths sleep like most of the day, so when she passes out, it's fine. I just tell the kids not to laugh at her snoring, and they're usually pretty nice about it. And yes, I do act in character with my sloth at all times. I carry her around afterward and I like cuddle her. And she gives hugs at the end of story time. She's an amazing puppet. I got her last year at the Texas Library Association conference. She's a folk manus, which are like the best puppets ever. I was originally gonna let my teens pick what puppet I was gonna buy because they were there for the teen day, and then someone's like, is that a sloth? And I was like, never mind, no one gets a choice. I'm getting a sloth. After I introduce Sophia at the beginning of story time, I have a couple let's get ready greeting songs. And my favorite one goes to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It. And I found this song 4 years ago. And so I will look for where I got it, but because I want to credit the source because I really like it. But if I don't, I'm sorry. And if it's yours, let me know and I will credit you. I've kind of put my own little twist on it because it was just the words and the tune. So it goes to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It, and it's called You Can Find It in a Book. So I have little hand motions. I get the kids to warm their hands up, and we open our books and we look in our books, and books are fun. So we smile really big, and then we stretch our mouths out, so we squish our mouths back together. And then you learn things in books. So you learn about the sun. And then I tell the kids the hardest part is clapping, but just 2 times. So they clap twice, and the younger kids, they just want to keep clapping. So that's why it's harder. So we usually sing that once, and then if there is a theme that works with it, I'll have us do that. So if we're doing books about lions, instead of clapping, we'll roar. So those are really fun to do. Here's the song. It goes, you can find it in a book if you look. You can find it in a book if you look. You'll find stories that are fun. You can learn about the sun. You can find it in a book if you look. I went to pull the books off the shelf to talk about today, and they were both checked out, but That means that I did a good job at story time and the kids wanted to take the books home with them. The books that I read for the story time, it was the week of Valentine's Day. So I wanted to have something happy and lovey, but not too lovey and too Valentine-y. Because I knew I was going to be posting this after Valentine's Day and I didn't want it to be too holiday specific. So we read How to Hug by Marianne McDonald, which is a really, really sweet book. It talks about what a hug is. You know, a hug is to show that you care about somebody. It talks about different kinds of hugs: bear hugs, soft hugs, side hugs, sandwich hugs, leg hugs. It talks about how to hug. Obviously, that's the title of the book. So, you know, don't hug too hard. If someone is angry, don't hug them. You have to be patient because sometimes it takes people a while to get over being angry. This was, I thought, was so important. If you don't want to be hugged, it's okay. You can say no, you don't want to be hugged. But if you do, people will usually give you a hug back. Some people don't want hugs. Some people just want to hold hands or they want a kiss on the cheek or something like that. Some may only want a hand to hold or a kiss on the cheek. And it was a really fun and gentle book. I think explained kids like, these are boundaries. It's good to show affection in these ways, but sometimes you show affection in different ways. And the word hug is a great word to work on like sound and letter recognition. And I always, if there's a word in the title that's repeated in the book that is a short word and we can talk about the sounds, then I will teach the kids to read that word. What letter is that? H, and H says, and you go, like you're hot. What letter is that? Close, it's just one, it's U. So we learned to read hug with this book and the other book that we read. So I point out the letters, we identify the letters, and we talk about what sounds each of the letters make. G, that's right! And here the G says G. So we go, G. Hug. We sound out the word, and then every time you see it, I don't do it every time because hug is in a lot of this book and the next one, and if we read everyone, it would just take forever. But when it's an important word or it's really large on the page, the kids read it for me. When it's time for a hug, open your heart. Then open your arms. Wrap them around the one you've chosen and hold them close. So that is How to Hug by Marianne McDonald. After I read the first book, the kids are a little restless usually, as I'm sure you know if you are doing story times or if you've been around a 3 to 6 year old ever in your life. We get up and dance around. I found this song, it was on one of the library's CDs that we own. It's by Casper Baby Pants. It's called All the Fish. And it's really, really fun because the kids get to act out all the animals. So there's all the fish are swimming in the water, and then you paddle like a duck in the water, and you hop like a frog in the water. You're muddy in the water like a pig. Then you splash in the water like a kid. And then there's a little dance break. And then the last one is you take a nap in the water like a hippo. It's really cute, and the chorus is bubble, 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 pop. So we do the bubbles and then we pop them and we jump in the air. It's really fun, and the kids love it. So before we do the dance to the song, I like to go through all of the motions so the kids know what's coming up. I don't know if that's really important, but it's a thing that I like to do, and I think when I was a kid I would have appreciated that, and so I wouldn't have felt as lost if I'd never come to Storytime before. The kids really, really like that song. The bubble, bubble, pop portion of it is always a big hit. Once we've finished the bubble, bubble, pop song, which is really what I think it should be called, I have a rhyme that I use every week, and it changes a little every week. I found this several years ago, so I am not entirely sure of its origins, but I can look it up. I'll put it in the info. So with this rhyme, I change it up to match the theme every week. So that week I think we did Little Valentines, but this week, since we're doing currently my present week, your past week, but the future week to the week that we're talking about, it's a superhero theme, so it's little heroes. So little heroes count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Little heroes bend one knee. We'll make them better with me. Little heroes touch their toes.
Little heroes touch their nose.
Little heroes make a funny face. Little heroes run in place. Then we run, 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 run. And then little heroes lay on the floor. Little heroes start to snore. And then they all snore. And I think that my favorite thing to make small children do is snore. It is hilarious. The quietest kid who you would not expect to be crazy about that has the loudest snore. I switched that up, so I did little heroes, little valentines, little dinosaurs, little kitties, little kids, little... It works with anything. The other book we read is Hug Machine by Scott Campbell, and Hug Machine is hilarious, and I either choose like a serious book and a silly book, or a longer, more narrative-driven book and a really short kind of rhyming book. If you do, you know, two of the same kinds, the kids lose focus, I find, and it just works better. Usually I'll do the short one first and I'll do the long one after we've danced some of our sillies out. In this case, I did a little more serious one first with How to Hug, and then the second one was Hug Machine. And Hug Machine is about a little boy who is a hug machine, and he hugs everything. He hugs moms, dads, kids, balloons, rocks, benches, trees. So that was a fun one to have the kids help me read the word hug on, because there's a page where he hugs. He like goes all around the neighborhood and it's hug, 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 hug. And you don't even know what the word means anymore at the end of it. So that is Hug Machine. That one's fun because you can ask the kids, like, would you hug this porcupine? No. But the Hug Machine does. He finds a way to. A mask on. He's got a pillow tied to him so he doesn't get poked. And he's got oven mitts on. And he's hugging the porcupine. Did you hug this whale? Did you hug a whale? No. Is it even possible to hug a whale? How do you get your arms around it? Oh, but the Hug Machine finds a way to hug the whale. It's just a really silly book. And the kids understand that it's silly and you actually shouldn't hug a porcupine, obviously. Kids are smart. After Hug Machine, I did the flannel 5 Little Hearts. And we have one of those nifty mitten, or I guess it's a glove, and I cut out little hearts and put them on there with Velcro and get to move them around, and you can see that here. The first one said, I love you so. The second one said, will you be my Valentine? The third one said, yes, if you'll be mine. The fourth one said, I'll always be your friend. The fifth one said, yes, we're friends till the end. So after the flannel, we watched a short video. I always show a video. Usually it's a DVD that the library already owns that is, you know, one of those animated ones of a children's story that they've animated and had John Lithgow narrated or something. So we did a zillion Valentines and it was really cute. Other times I will use a YouTube video and I make sure it's cool with whoever's, you know, put it up on YouTube. That can be a little iffy. I use Prezi to as a presentation platform for my story times, and I have my iPad next to me to progress through, and it projects behind me on the projector screen. So if the Wi-Fi is cooperating, I can usually hit play. The YouTube video usually has to buffer a little, as it does. And I just fill for time while it's doing that. So we discuss something, or we use that time to wake up Sophia back there, and then we watch our YouTube video. The kids, there's a line on the floor and the kids come line up on the line. Then once that's over, it's about 5 minutes. We have one last goodbye rhyme. During it, they get to tickle things. Tickle the clouds. Tickle your toes. Turn around and tickle your nose. And then I bring Sophia around because she's awake at that point, and they tickle her nose and she laughs and laughs and laughs. And then that's the end of story time. At the very end, as they're leaving, I give them all a coloring sheet. A lot of people do crafts with their story time, and I love crafts, but I don't want them at the end of my story time. I have so many other things to plan. Doing a craft at the end of my story time would just they're really happy with coloring sheets. So that is my story time, and that is how I used Hug Machine and How to Hug for Valentine's Day. They're really cute, and you should use them too. I hope this helped with your, I don't know, storytime prep or gave you some ideas. I will try to find all of the original sites that I got these on. I think a lot of the stuff that I use is used everywhere, so it's on many different blogs. But I will post the ones that I like the best and where I found them down here. I hope you do all those nice things you can do on YouTube. Like this video, subscribe, leave a comment below if you liked the stories that I talked about, or if you'd read them before, or if you'd use them, or if you have used them, how you use them differently than I did. Bye! And she's my soulmate. Okay. But enough about puppets. I really, really like my job. Okay, Lisa, stop laughing. Stop it.